Morning, everyone. Welcome to the Wealthy Retailer Podcast. I'm your host, Dan Holman with the Wealthy Retailer and Canadian Retail Solutions. We're recording this week, Wednesday, the 22nd of July, sort of midsummer, and ready to rock and roll here, Rob. How are you doing this morning?
Good. Yeah, nice summer day, but you know the headlines don't stop, and it's good we could grab some time this morning to keep chatting about. You know, every week there's something a little different, and always look forward to chatting with you, hear your thoughts on the topics of the day. Then you can sneak off to that golf course.
Yeah.
There we go. Some of the things we're going to chat about this week. I love this. You know, just when you think you got rid of your older kids, they boomerang their way back. And interesting story. You know, boomerang opportunities for retailers. A story about, you know, from bold colors to memorable scents, you know, different ways of making your store stand out. With so many changes going on and you know, the rapid change, we'll talk about the mall of the future, or, you know, even if it's going to be called a mall in anymore. FaceTime shopping, and Dan's going to share some great info about selling systems within his 12 steps. So looking forward to hearing that. So without further ado, our first story, you know, back to, like I said, you hoped to get rid of those kids that go off to greener pastures, young ones, but they boomerang their way back. This story comes to us, it's a furniture story. It comes from FurnitureToday.com. And the quote in there, you know, the boomerang generation is taking on an entirely new meaning during this pandemic. Young adults are returning to the family nest in record numbers. So from school closures, economic shutdowns of different kinds, has forced families to reevaluate their living spaces, and they're investing in products for space-saving solutions and more. So Dan, you know, I guess a question, I look at this story and ask you, what, if any, other boomerang opportunities are there out there for retailers to look at?
I think this is a great example of someone doing some gap analysis and recognizing that, yeah, you know, as schools, colleges, and universities sent kids home, you know, they left their dorms. They didn't have anywhere to go, and so they come back home, and they show up at your door, and in that great, you know, second bedroom that you've now turned into your, you know, your office or whatever. You know, now you're trying to jam a sofa in there. And in this case, I think in this article from Furniture Today, it was a futon.
Futons, yes.
But this is gap analysis. This is recognizing, hey, there's something missing in the marketplace, and I can provide that. And, you know, for our independent retailers, there are tons of boomerang opportunities. And when we start to think about what can I maximize, or what can I capitalize on, it's the gap. It's what's missing today, and having the ability to predict, short-term prediction, look forward, see a hole, and fill that hole. And it's whether that's in clothing, you know, in educational, you know, I mean, our stationery stores are crazy busy. People are spending more time. Even in the summer, here we are mid-July, and we're still seeing people, you know, nesting, staying home. There's a fear out there, and they're spending a lot more time at home and doing things in their home that, you know, they have not done, where they've, you know, reinvesting in their nest. And so decorating, you know, our home decor stores are doing really well. People are starting to re-nest. Myself, you know, we invested in the backyard. We're spending more time hanging around the damn house.
Yep.
And so it's those opportunities that retailers need to maximize on and speak to that. I know you're nesting. I know you're boomeranging. I know you're seeing this. Here's the solution that we've created for that.
Do you think it's something that I'll use the term "stay in your lane" as a retailer? You know, you're a certain type of shop. You've got your things, but knowing that, I'm going to say the next 12 to 18 months is going to be this, we'll call it a new way of living. So what would you say to retailers, maybe not so much about their existing store, but maybe their existing customer, of what opportunities they might be able to find with that customer?
Well, I think staying in your lane, Rob, staying in your lane isn't safe anymore.
Okay.
You know, your vision of being the greatest women's clothing store is wrong today. It doesn't work anymore. We have to reinvent ourselves. And I'm not going to say pivot. Pivot's just, we're past pivoting. It's recognizing where the opportunity is, looking at your customer, understanding geopsycho and demographics of your customer, where she is, who she is, really understand who she is and satisfy, those changing needs that she has. And when you talk about staying in your lane, I'm a clothing store, I'm a home decor store, I'm a gift store. Well, your lane has to get wider and wider. And as you see opportunity, boomerang opportunity or otherwise, you have to take advantage of it. Look at what's going on with mask sales. It's crazy. People are selling masks in every kind of store. Well, that's
Right.
outside your lane.
Yep.
If you're a bike store, that's maybe outside your lane, but I can go buy a mask at my bike store.
But so you take that step back and realize that your lane is really, at the end of the day, is your customer, is not so much the products you've been selling for so many years, right?
This is all about recognizing who she is and feeding her, not feeding you, not feeding your lane, not feeding your business, but recognizing that she is where you're going, following her, not ahead of her and not behind her, but arm in arm.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that in a selling system, walking arm in arm with your client.
Yeah. Well, even this next story comes to us from architecturaldigest.com, and what kind of grabbed my interest out of it, it's a story about a New York City shopping destination, and a great example of a number of different boutiques, but this store owner taking elements within the store that was everything from books, like her personal books that she had collected over the years, her music playlist, the smells that she put in there. And so, just kind of from colors to scents to music and personal items. What's your thought on this?
I think we saw this, several years ago. Back in our furniture days, we built a 25,000 square foot furniture store that every room had a different sight, sound, and smell. We piped in different music. We piped in different smells. And this is all about giving people a sensory experience, giving them an experience. And experience is such an overused trite word in retail today, but you're seeing more and more experiential stores pop up. Canada Goose cold stores and Nike's hockey only stores. And there are some great stores that are driven by sensory penetration rather than great customer service.
Right.
I'm going to appeal to senses. And there are it's been proven in retail, many years ago. If I can make my furniture store smell like your home, you're more relaxed, you're more open to have conversation, open to give me your needs, what you're doing in my store, to better help me assess and then deliver a total solution for you. And whether that's in a clothing store or in a furniture store or a bicycle shop or a cigar store, you want sounds and smells that take you somewhere. When you stand at the edge of your furniture display, I want to envision that in my home. When I go and shop in my favorite men's store, I want what's on that mannequin because that's what I want to look like. Right?
What would you say?
And that's all about sensory experience.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to ask the question that, I'm Joe retailer, Susie retailer. I'm at square one. Is this something, Dan, you got to do all together, or would you rank them in importance that, if you can only work to one plan in the next couple months, make smells at the top of your list?
No,
right?
it's sight, sound, smell.
Okay.
Right? I see it, I hear it, I smell it. And so that scent in your store, it ideally is something that either takes you somewhere, the Otis Spunkmeyer chocolate chip cookie smell, We saw that in stores, rampant across the country, that they had that smell, or the coffee smell.
I get asked to leave those stores because I loiter too much. Smells too good.
Yeah. But I think that, when we're at square one and we start to build our checklist, we start with the way our store is going to look. And we have to envision that look. What's it going to look like? And then, what is it going to sound like in my store? Yeah. And then I layer in a scent that helps you to relax or takes you to another place. You want to be in a beach, if you're in a beach store, you're selling beach furniture or beach clothing, maybe I want to smell suntan oil. Maybe I want to smell that, that ocean. And maybe I want to hear the ocean sound. And it helps me get to a place. Remember that when people are shopping, they're in one of three phases: dreaming, exploring, or selecting. And if you catch them in that dreaming phase and you can enhance their dream, they're more apt to spend time and money with you.
Yeah. This particular story, it seemed to really be that all of these elements were an extension of the owner herself.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. Yes.
You feel that's just a great starting point if you struggle a little bit, because that, at the end of the day, that's going to be the deepest connection you're making with your customer anyways, so you might as well make it even more about
right. It. This is how I explain it. Your home is an extension of your personality. When you come into my home, you're seeing really what my personality is, and whether that's eclectic or traditional or transitional, you're kind of getting a feel for what my personality is. And if I'm building a store, I'm going to expound on my personality, and I'm going to share that to make that connection with someone that this is who I am. The reason that we build these concept stores or experiential stores is because they're an extension of our customer, and we, in most cases, are our customer. I could never build a store and say, well, I can't shop there. Right. That's not me.
Yeah.
I'm not my customer. Well, wait a minute. You have to be able to embody your customer to be able to recognize, pinpoint exactly who, what, where, when, and why.
Yeah. Right on.
And so, yeah, this story was a great example of, of this woman putting all of herself, the things that she had collected, into her store to say, this is a picture of who I am, and I am like you. We say this, I'm well traveled, I'm well read, I'm well schooled. This is who I am.
Yep. When you think of those back to sales 101, establishing rapport.
Yeah.
That rapport could be, you like that book, or you've
Sure.
been to this place, and so it creates interesting opportunities that way.
Any store that makes you feel at home, comfortable, not out of your element, is a place you want to spend time.
Yeah, right on. Hey, folks, just to let you know, this podcast is brought to you by Canadian Retail Solutions. They have the retail solutions to make your store more successful. From the latest point of sale software to e-commerce solutions, they've got Retail Pro, Heartland Retail. They can help you with Shopify and more. Let them help you find your cutting-edge retail solution today. Visit retailbycrs.com to learn more. Okay, well, like I say, through a little bit of rapid change here, our next story comes to us from burnabynow.com, and it's talking about, what type of, this one talks about a food revolution to survive, but it talks about all these key points that the malls in many ways need to reinvent themselves. And a quote from the story discusses how it will be a thriving community where people will live, work, play, eat. This will not be your parents' mall so much in the way that we may not even call it a mall anymore. Right. Yeah, what are your thoughts here, Dan?
You're seeing this already take place in different centers across the country. Holt Renfrew, or Manulife Place, I should say, in Edmonton was a great example of taking a big dinosaur of a building and transforming it. You're seeing that at West Ed Mall now with the intent with Mayfield Toyota putting the biggest car service, not just car dealership, car service in a mall. You're going to see the malls. I truly believe, this story was really well written. I truly believe that our malls have to reinvent themselves. And maybe we're going to see things more professional services in the malls. Yes, food and beverage. Food and beverage. West Edmonton Mall, there's probably not a mall that has done it as well. That Bourbon Street in West Edmonton Mall,
Yep.
it actually serves two purposes. It keeps people in the mall, but it also creates a destination. There are destination type restaurants there, and if in and out easy access is available, I might zip over there for lunch. Well, that's the way malls have to reinvent themselves. This story said, focus on safety and convenience, rethink the role of the store. If traffic is down, rethink, how do I get traffic back into this mall? Well, it's probably going to be by adding services, maybe not traditional retail stores anymore.
Yeah.
And maybe it's no longer a shopping mall, that now it's a service center. And it's a blend of, retail and dentistry and salon and automotive and of course food and beverage. And malls today have to realign their thinking. They've got to embrace some technology. They've got to look at not just making way for this food revolution that we expect to see, but become this new destination. And maybe I want to move my office into that building because it has great services. And when I talked about Manulife Place, that office tower with 3 levels of food and beverage and retail, and that idea has been around for a long time. And we've changed and built these massive centers that are just a conglomerate of retail store after retail store after retail store. Well, maybe we have to rethink that. Maybe I'm not going to go as much to the mall to browse, but if I can do 3 things there, I might be more apt to visit it.
What do you think the malls could do digitally? When I think of their digital presence, I think of, historically, you kind of go there for 2 reasons. What are the hours? And show me the directory, like what stores are in there. There's not much else reason to go there. Do you see a role the mall has digitally as a place encouraging people to visit this hub, this digital hub, that if you're a tenant of our mall, you'll also have the opportunity to digitally sell and be part of this community too?
I believe if malls are going to try to continue charging the rates that they have in the past, they've really got to step up their game. Yep. They've got to enhance their digital footprint. They've got to give that shopper or that client an opportunity to see what's in the mall. Not where things are, but what is it? To have live cams, to have virtual showrooming, to see that and to provide that for their clients. Parking, best place to park? You want to go to West Edmonton Mall, there's 27 different entrances you can go into. Where do you want to park? What store am I going to? Here's the store I want to go to, there's where you should park.
Right.
Convenience, we're talking about being safe and convenient. Well, safety is going to come from the least amount of exposure. Convenience is going to be easy in, easy out. Right? I think we can deliver a significantly stronger digital presence for the businesses that are within the mall if they want to. They've not had to spend that money.
Right.
We've got 22,000 people walking through the door a day. Good enough. Well, not anymore. I think I read traffic was down, in reduced hours, year over year traffic was off by about 22% pre-pandemic,
right,
and 65% post-pandemic. Well, how are you going to get those people back? Well, the mall is maybe not the first place I want to go.
Yeah, no, it's I think of my own history back in the newspaper business as an example, and a lot of people are quick to say, well, no one reads them anymore. And I'd say, oh, they never had more readers in the history of the product. The problem is they're not in this one convenient little place,
right,
being the printed paper. They're spread against all these channels. They have a revenue problem. They did not learn to properly monetize all the different channels, and it kind of feels a little similar, right? Where all the people, it was all just conveniently in one place, and now they're going to be challenged. And I think, to your point, that we're gonna see leaders in the industry, from the malls. They'll be the ones who step up and create somewhat of this omni-channel experience for their retailers as well, and that's what's going to allow them to command the rates that they do.
And I think we're going to see a shift in rating. I mean, we're going to see a massive shift, and it's not going to happen today. It's not going to happen in the next 6 months. This is recovery, or not even recovery. This is the road to recovery. Yep. One day closer kind of thing. When we look forward a year or 2 years from now, malls are going to look a little bit different. And those malls that recognize they have to feed into the early adopters. Early adopters are the ones that can really change your business. We're going to feed into those early adopters, the people that are embracing technology. I think a little further down, we've got an article about FaceTime shopping. Well,
yeah, totally.
That's about early adoption.
Okay, well, I'm going to take that as my cue to a little segue into that story. Comes out of Halifax, and huddle.today, and you'll love this quote, Dan. You mentioned it earlier today, so just to reinforce that, if I hear the word pivot one more time, I'm going to punch somebody, says this owner, and just really speaks to that, where everyone's looking for different ways, different channels to sell their goods, and in this particular story talks about offering that personal service in your store of FaceTime shopping. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, first and foremost, anybody that says you have to pivot, you kind of got to give them the no shit, Dick Tracy. Yep. Thanks for the heads up. And I felt a little bit guilty, being on some of these webinars. This shop owner talked about, leaving a webinar the minute she heard the word, to survive today, you must pivot. Well, no shit. Yes, it is about pivoting. Yes. And this was just an example of how someone went the extra mile, how that retailer went the extra mile and did a FaceTime shopping, I'm not going to call it an appointment, a FaceTime shopping appointment. Yep. Well, through this period of sort of April 1st, through the end of May into June, we saw a lot of that FaceTime opportunity, and pushed retailers and talked to retailers doing more Facebook Lives, doing more FaceTime selling, and offering the ability for your client to schedule time with you, right? Use a calendar. I think, I don't know, maybe we've got in our little family of retailers, maybe we've got a dozen that are using a calendar application, a calendar app to allow customers to book one-on-one time. Okay. And that can be virtual or in person. And this is about you going above and beyond, recognizing that there is another way to do business, and I'm prepared to do whatever you need me to do to help you through that buying cycle, whatever it is you're trying to buy.
Do you think, at the store level, it's easy to envision this as the single shop owner who's okay, this is my phone, we're going to FaceTime. How do you introduce scale to this? Like, is this the shop phone, and this phone becomes how you do Facebook Messenger, Instagram, FaceTime? What do you think about that?
Well, you can do it on any device. It's not about just having that phone. It's that I've got an iPad in my store. I mean, I've got more thin solutions for checking out customers than I've ever had before. Yeah. And I do have, if I'm a shop owner and I've got 1 or 2 employees with me, then yeah, we're just using our phone. If I'm a large 25 people on the sales floor retail store, I'm probably encouraging them to use their FaceTime. I'm encouraging you to make a connection.
Give them the
I mean, there are 3 sources of traffic in your store. Drive-by shootings, not really appropriate anymore, but drive-bys. I saw a sign and I came in. I advertise to bring people in, or return customers, referral customers. And that's me wanting to come back and work with you, Rob, not me wanting to come back and shop in that store. It's the person that I made the connection with. Right. So I might be saying to Kyle, make a FaceTime appointment on your phone. If you're hesitant to give your number out, your FaceTime number, FaceTime can be connected to an email. It doesn't have to be connected, to a phone number. It can be an email, and everybody can have a FaceTime account with their email address. Digital is becoming easier and easier. And this idea that, well, wait a minute, that's the store cell phone number, that's antiquated.
I like it when you think of, traditional retail was so reactive, or just kind of, we get what we get. To your point of, did they just drive by, or they plan to come see us, and we enjoy or not, whatever happens. What we're talking about here puts a lot more of the proactive side onto the retailer and their staff. Like, who are we calling today? Who are we setting up appointments with? And let's not wait for them to come to our store. And let's get in front. And I love that, because I just don't like falling victim or just driving your success purely on who comes in or not.
Client outreach, clienteling, that service that you give. I mean, the car guys have done this for 1,000 years, right? They have their book of clients. They know when to call them. I can guarantee you what month I'm going to get a call about my car. They've done a really good job. And in retail, we need to do the same thing. We have to understand that I'm responsible, me as the salesperson on the floor, I'm responsible to drive 1/3 of the traffic that walks through that front door. And I do that by calling, I do that by reaching out to my client base, and scheduling appointments and scheduling time, whether that's virtual or in person. And we're not doing that enough. The stores that are reaching out to their clients right now, the stores that are right now reaching out and saying, hey, I just want to let you know I miss you. I miss seeing you. I can't wait for you to come back into the store. If there's anything I can do, just let me know. If you need some contactless time, if you need, a virtual appointment, if you want some time alone in the store, just let me know. I just wanted you to know I was thinking about you. I miss you in my store. And that's, I miss your revenue. Let's call a spade a spade. I miss your revenue. I miss your sales dollar. And I'm sure you miss spending it.
I think it's a powerful communication. It's that touch point that you want my money, but thank you. You thought of me, and and depending on the level of how much you know about me, as to how so back to the beginning, like, what are these small retailers doing to, mysterious Susie walks in, we've never seen or met her before. What are we doing to try and get that, get her number to text her, get her to, what can that look like?
Do you know how easy it is to get someone's contact information?
I used to ask girls all the time. They all said no, Dan. So
listen, I failed miserably at it. If your intentions are not pure, you may not have the same level of success.
There we go.
but making a connection. Okay, here we are. We're going to segue into the selling system. The selling system is about engagement. It is engaging that audience. People need to see you as a person, not a salesperson. I'm going to talk to you like you're a person, not a customer. I want to understand who you are. Are you in that exploring phase in buying, that you're looking for opportunity, you're looking to fulfill, this vision that you've had, and whether that's for a sweater or a sofa, I've got to make that connection with you to be able to say, hey, my name's Dan, and you are? And you answer back without hesitation. Hey, my name's Rob. Man, Rob, thank you so much for coming in today. I so much appreciate it. Let's go for a walk. Let's have a chat. Can I get you a coffee? Just make someone feel comfortable. And then when I say to you, Rob, what's your preferred method of communication? Do you like text or email? I'd love to be able to stay in touch with you.
Yep.
Well, why do you want to stay in touch with me?
Yep.
Well, that's what I do. I mean, that's the network that we're building. Why do I want to stay in touch with you? I want to be able to reach out when something sparks in my mind that's perfect for you. I want to be able to say, hey, Rob, you might not be in the market, but I wanted to let you know that this is what came in today. This is what's available today.
I love that stuff. And Dan, keep going. Like you're deep into one of your 12 steps. So don't leave us hanging.
Listen,
This is the selling system.
this is all about recognizing that systems define outcomes. Retailers have to remember systems define outcomes. When something is systematic, it happens as consequence. And in the selling system, we build these 5 little steps within that system. They start with greeting customers. We talked about greeting, I think, last week or the week before. The entrance and exit greeting. There's 2 kinds of greetings. You've got to greet clients. You move from greeting to engaging them. We engage clients, we engage customers, we engage our guests with social chit chat, the get to know you stuff. We start with maybe something as trite as the weather, but we really want to get to understand who you are. And we have that conversation, that engagement opportunity. And as we get through the greeting, we get yeses along the way. How do I know when it's a yes when I greet someone? Well, when they make eye contact. How do I know when someone is engaging me? When I'm asking open-ended questions and getting open-ended answers, getting answers back, getting conversation back that facilitates the next conversation. And so we move from greeting to engagement, from engagement to understanding their needs. That's really where we go back to business. So you're walking in my store and hey, good morning, Rob. Thanks for coming in today. It's great to see you again. We're going to have a little bit of a social chit chat. How have you been? How's the hockey stuff coming? How's your podcast? How are things going? What's happening in your world? Fill me in. I haven't seen you for a couple of months. How are you doing? And we're going to have that conversation. And then I'm going to bring it back to business. And I'm going to say, what brings you in today? What's your mission today? Something that is pointed, that's all about you. And I'm going to use you, those words that make it personal. What's your mission today? What brings you in today? I am not going to say, hey, I'm so glad you came in today. Dining room tables are on sale. Who gives a shit? I'm not looking for a dining room table, right? It's about you. What brings you in? There's purpose to that. And more now than ever before, people are walking in with purpose. And you need to recognize that. And you have to ask the right questions. And moving through the selling system allows you to do that. Greeting, engaging, understanding your customer's needs. And then step 4, presenting total solutions. Don't give them a sweater without an underpinning. Don't sell them a pair of jeans without a belt. Just think about what the total solution is. Every person that ever buys an article of clothing thinks about, where am I going to wear that? What am I going to wear it with? No matter what. Oh, that's a great shirt. Where am I going to wear it? I'm going to wear it every day. It's a work shirt. It's a t-shirt. I'm going to,
Well, you probably need 4 of those then.
Right. But it's that point of recognition that you're delivering a total solution, which drives up your average sale, which drives up, consequentially, your sales volume. We talked about sales volume being consequential. Well, in the selling system, each step as you get to yes is consequence. I greet, yes. Okay, I get something back. Now I'm going to move to engagement. Yes, we have chit chat back and forth. Okay, now I'm going to move to business. Step 3, understanding what you're doing in my store. What is it you need? What's your mission? And then presenting a total solution, handling objections. If you do your job, there are no objections. We used to say that this was a 6-step system, and handling objections was actually a step. But we recognize the better we are at understanding needs and presenting total solutions, we eliminate objections. So we move from greeting to engaging to understanding your needs to presenting total solutions to now closing sales. And yes, closing sales is actually a step. It's a process. It's a critical step in the system. You have to ask for the sale. And there's many different ways to ask for a sale. There's many different ways of closing a sale. We've got the assumptive close. Hey, this all looks great. It's within budget. Let's go ring it up. It's assumptive. Done. I just asked for the sale. Right? The romantic close. The can you imagine? Imagine what you're going to look like at dinner. Imagine what you're going to look like at that wedding. Imagine how it's going to feel. Imagine the romance close. Let's lock this down. Let's close this up. Let's bag it up. Or, this direct close, cash, check, or charge.
Yep.
We got what you need. Lock it down. Let's go.
It's go time.
Yeah, it's go time. But, as you move through this selling system, these steps, you get to yes every step through the process. And this is the number one source of referral traffic, the selling system, the making people feel important enough to go through this, for you to ask those good questions.
Yeah.
You see, and then at the end of this sale, I'm going to say to you, what's the best way to communicate? And you're going to be like, text me, call me, carrier pigeon me, whatever my method is. And it's the selling system that does that for us. It's what allows us to increase our sales.
Yeah. All right. Well, folks, be sure to head over to the retailbycrs.com to sign up for the newsletter. In addition to the stories from today's podcast, we'll also have links for additional stories. We've got some about Swift, which is an Amazon-like product that can democrat. Again, it just won't come out this morning. Make you accessible to same-day delivery for all of those non-Amazon merchants out there. So definitely one of interest. There's a new initiative from Shopify and the Government of Canada called Go Digital Canada. And a story about the extension of the wage subsidy in Canada, the CEWS program. So definitely applicable to a lot of retailers out there. And Instagram Shop just launched in the US. So looking at what that means down the road for everyone. Great week, Dan.
Yeah. Awesome. Great job today. Thanks everyone for joining us. As Rob said, head over to retailbycrs.com or thewealthyretailer.com. And you can catch these podcast recordings as well as tons and tons of video content. Make sure to sign up for our newsletter and, of course, subscribe to the Wealthy Retailer podcast on your favorite podcast platform by searching The Wealthy Retailer. Awesome today. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.
Happy retail.